to thank everybody that's tuned in here on YouTube and on Twitch. Well, looks like now we're live on YouTube. Not sure what the holdup from YouTube was there, but qualifications underway here. Matt Wagner is your quick timer. 24.317 seconds. The lap time of record for Matt Wagner. 24.36. The lap time for Nick Degroot. 24.36 with a 0. 24.382 for Eric Peterson, Connor Baldwin, Charles Teed. Your top 5 in qualifications. Richard Fletcher, J Mcmurray, Joseph Morales not taking time. There you see Watson trying to get that car onto pit lane. Very, very difficult to do. Is down inside of 10 seconds left in the qualification session. That will mean that we are done. Drivers will not be able to get a lap in the books. So qualifying is over. It is time to go racing for 100 laps, 70 minutes here at the Kentucky Speedway. And as the field starts to pop out here onto the grid, we will pop up your starting lineup. Matt Wagner, your pole sitter, with a lap time of 24.317 seconds, 42 thousandths back. The number 89 of Nick Degroot. Eric Peterson and Connor Baldwin can occupy row number 2. Row 3, Charles Teed and Ty Richter. Inside of row 4, Cullen Johnston, the first car, 1/10 of a second off the pole time. Cullen just becoming a father again late last night, is my understanding. Congratulations to the entire Johnston family from us here at NRN and the entire ESRA INDYCAR Series. I believe this makes for baby number 4, I believe. So congratulations to Cullen and family. Jason Hand going to line up on the outside of row 4. Row 5 will have Jeff Destino and Brandon Ishkanyan. Gary Corley and Craig Forsyth will line up on row number 6. Row 7 will have James Watson and Joseph Morales. Watson, a very disappointing qualification run that was a total of 0.3 of a second slow. This place is going to be pretty insane. Lining up on row number 8 will be J Mcmurray and Richard Fletcher. And it looks like Nick Degroot may not have gotten that car out onto the grid. That would be a flat, stunning development. Your field making its way down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. And it is just about go time. Very quickly, take a look at your weather conditions presented by our friends at the Weather Center. 71-degree ambient temperature. Very calm, 73-degree track temperature here tonight. This one's going to be fun. The field comes off at turn number 4. As always, race fans, the start of the ESRA INDYCAR Series going to be all yours. Pack racing at its finest, already starting to develop here. Matt Wagner going to lead lap number 1 over Eric Peterson, Connor Baldwin, Ty Richter, and Cullen Johnston. Side-by-side battle for the race lead off in turn number 2. Wagner down to the inside, Peterson up on the outside of the racetrack. No change thus far. Wagner slides up just a little bit. That could force Peterson onto the binders. Oh, Connor Baldwin up. He's into the wall. Connor Baldwin spins down to the inside of the racetrack. We will stay green. It'll be an unsafe pit entry. Oh, and a big impact into the inside wall for Connor Baldwin. He will have to quickly head to the backup car as we go back to the front of the field. Fastest lap time of the race set by Ty Richter to 24:48. Pull up a side-by-side battle here for you as well with Charles Teed and Jason Hand. That is significantly deeper in the pack, though. Hand up against the outside retaining wall. That's not where you want to be. Richard Fletcher, Brandon Ishkanyan, both going to be able to come around as Wagner continues to hold off Peterson for the lead. Not quite sure to even begin where to look as we roll our way through this one. Once again, fight for the lead is spectacular into turn 3. Ty Richter right up under the attenuator of Matt Wagner. That's how you get in trouble with dirty air. Looks like James Watson having a little bit of an issue here as well. Watson having to come down pit lane. Looks like Connor Baldwin is out of the race. James Watson making his way back out onto the racetrack. Pass for the lead, pass for second coming here as well. Eric Peterson around Matt Wagner. Wagner and Richter going to battle side by side into 3. Big time chopped down to the inside of the racetrack by Peterson. The fighting that's going on up here at the front is allowing the second 3 cars, positions 4, 5, and 6, to catch right back up to your race leaders. That's going to be Craig Forsyth, Cullen Johnston, and J Mcmurray. Give us a shout in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. We will do our best to be as interactive as we possibly can. And since I'm flying solo in the booth for this one, always good to have the conversation as well if you don't want to talk to the Russian spam bots that are out here. We'll keep the race leaders up on the right-hand side of the screen for you. Slide back here. Pick up Joseph Morales and Brandon Ishkanyan. Morales able to clear Ishkanyan, and he's going to go after Charles Teed down the front straightaway. Already working lap number 11. These laps tick by so quickly here at the Kentucky Speedway. The gap from first to fifth sitting at 1 second right now. Slide back just a tick here. Show you Charles Teed, J Mcmurray, and Cullen Johnston. Noticing the livery change here. I'm sorry, no, that's Joseph Morales, Charles Teed on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side has Craig Forsyth, J Mcmurray. I was like, wait a minute. That's a little screwy. Battle for the race lead starting to heat up. In fact, we're going to come right back to it here at the front. Ty Richter to the outside of Eric Peterson, and he will have the position at the start-finish line. We complete lap number 14. Hearing the race leaders could have to come in as soon as lap 30 to 33-ish. If you're in full push mode. And taking a look at the numbers here, the 5-lap average and the 10-lap average, almost identical for these drivers. Ty Richter at the head of the field, 24.806 for the 5-lap average, 24.771 for the 10-lap average. Several hard chargers early in this race. J Mcmurray is up 10, Craig Forsyth up 8 to run in the 4th position. Ty Richter up 5 as well. Only 2 drivers with significant losses at this point. That's going to be Nick Degroot, who started from pit lane and will start in the 12th position. Also, Connor Baldwin, who is down 12. Rough night for your points leader. Absolutely not the way he wanted to see his night go here at Kentucky. I was about to drag Connor in for an interview and then realized he's still on the racetrack. So we will not try to talk to him just yet. We will, however, slide back in the field, pick up Joseph Morales, Jeff Destino, and Brandon Ishkanyan. Oh, it looked like we had one car up against the wall. Oh, and that was Ty Richter. Ty Richter with heavy right front damage. Take a look and see if we can see what happened here. He's able to get down onto the pit lane, and we will stay green. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Wagner dives to the inside. Oh, it was some right side romance from Matt Wagner. And the left front of that car absolutely collapsed with the contact. Almost like netcode levels of junked race car. Ty Richter finally able to get that race car back to his pit box. But man, a couple of very, very quick race cars early in this race. In fact, 3 of them now. Connor Baldwin back on the racetrack. Jason Hand also down 6. He's been on pit lane as well. James Watson looks like going to be scored, I believe, 2 laps down. Right now, Watson running in position number 13. Still tight up here for the race lead. We'll bring back up the side-by-side. Cullen Johnson, Charles Teed, J Mcmurray, and Joseph Morales. They're all going to be nose to tail. That's 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack. Last time by, Matt Wagner ran a 24.801. That was identical to his 10-lap average time. Very consistent for Wagner at the front of the field. And they are about a half-second slow from the qualifying times that they set earlier. Wagner's last lap at a 24.776, qualifying at a 24.318. So they're trying to make the fuel last. The problem is if you can only go 32 or 33 laps, really going to put you in a tight spot in terms of trying to make the number on fuel. Look a little bit deeper in the field. This is Gary Corley going after Jeff Destino. I believe that is a McLaren paint scheme on Gary Corley's car. We'll bring it up to the full screen here. Yes, it is. Getting away from the Top Gun racing schemes that Corley ran all of last season and most of this season. Ty Richter now hanging on at the back with these guys, but a very, very long pit stop for Ty Richter. Oh, man, Corley bounced it off the outside safer barrier, exiting turn 4. That's going to be a handful. We'll head back here in the battle for the race lead. And the battle for second, Craig Forsyth to the inside of Eric Peterson as we are working now lap number 27. Very quickly approaching our first set of green flag pit stops. One of the things the drivers were talking about was the need to manage the tools in a very big way. This is a fixed setup league. Some drivers like to take a really big swing. In fact, I know Cullen Johnston is one of those. He wants to make the car exceedingly loose and goes to the absolute maximums that he can on the in-car adjustments. So you make the car loose and then you kind of bring it back in as it tightens up, but let's move back and pick up Cullen Johnston. Not too far behind Charles Teed, but he's going to have J Mcmurray right up under the attenuator. Joseph Morales will be there as well. Now working lap number 30. Matt Wagner holding an 0.8 of a second lead over Craig Forsyth. Going to be another half second back to Eric Peterson. Then it is 1.3 seconds to Charles Teed in this battle that we are following along with right now. Tell you what, guy who's got a really fast race car right now is Ty Richter, but unfortunately being scored 4 laps down. Don't know that there's going to be any way for him to organically unlap himself. Would be impressive, though. Currently, the first car being scored 1 lap down is James Watson in the 12th position. And Matt Wagner still has about 2/3 of the racetrack to go yet until he catches the 19 of Brandonish Canyon, who is the car running in the 11th position. Move up a little forward here. It'll be time for Cullen Johnston to do battle with J Mcmurray. Talking to the drivers in the pre-race, it was just about everybody that was having issues getting onto and off of pit lane. And it really made it so you didn't want to be the first one that had to come in. Basically, the hope was that you would benefit from somebody else having an issue. You make the mistake coming onto pit lane, and it was very likely that you were going to be spinning the car back up into traffic. First car to come down pit lane for service will be the number 89 of Nick Degroot, making his way to the attention of the motorsport.com team. It will be 4 fresh Firestone Firehawks, no compound choice here at the Ovals. Also a full tank of Speedway racing fuel. Oh, Degroot overshoots the box just a little bit. We'll see how long the service takes. Nick Degroot down and away. 9.77 seconds. Time of the pit stop for Nick Degroot. Oh, and here's a spinner. That's going to be Cullen Johnston. Caution is out. Oh, and he gets absolutely plowed into. Huge hit for Cullen Johnston. And Jeff Destino closing very rapidly, basically nowhere to go. Take a look, trying to get on the brakes to get down pit lane. Car snaps loose. Destino was hoping Cullen Johnston would move. But that will be the end of the night for Cullen Johnston. Jeff Destino also having to take the tow back to the pit lane. Get the comment in here from Lady Wanderlust Racing. Oh, gotta find the piece of graphics first. There we go. Oof. Yeah, that was tough break for Cullen Johnston, tough break for Jeff Destino as well. But now everybody's going to be able to come down pit road. And this is kind of what the leaders were hoping for. Get to the end of the stint, make your way down pit lane, take your service, everybody comes back out. It will be a 2-stop race for anybody that does not, for everybody that does come down pit lane. It looks like we have one electing to stay out, but we'll pick up Matt Wagner as he makes his way down the pit lane. Nick Degroot going to try to benefit from some track position here. He will stay out on the racetrack. Degroot being scored 1 lap down after his pit stop. James Watson also staying out on the racetrack right now. As Matt Wagner going to lead the field off of pit lane for Fresh Firestone Firehawks. Full tank of Speedway fuel. Matt Wagner down and away in 8.52 seconds. 8:27 the time of the stop for Craig Forsyth. Eric Peterson, Charles T., Joseph Morales, your top 5. As these drivers make their way off the pit lane. Lady Wanderlust checking in, saying she's here to support Jeff Destino. Unfortunately, not a very good night for Mr. Destino. He is still in the pit box. We will see James Watson come down pit lane this time. Also, I believe we will see Nick Degroot come down the pit lane as well. We'll see where everybody is going to slot in here. Still several cars between the race leaders and the iRacing safety truck. So that means the lights are still on and we will have at least one more lap under the caution flag here. Is Charles Teed pulling up alongside race leader Matt Wagner. Wagner being very, very slow behind the pace truck here. We will have the 3 wave around cars. So Nick Degroot will be back on the lead lap after electing to stay out here. Degroot only had about 5 laps on the set of tires that he was on. However, that also means Nick Degroot may be looking at a 3-stop race as well. I want to remind everybody, coming up next here on the National Racing Network, it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain. That will be NRN's first visit. I think our first visit to Spain entirely, but or at least our first visit to the virtual. The northeast portion of Spain, in the Catalunya region. Long time the Catalans have been pushing for independence from the rest of Spain. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Wagner, Forsyth, Peterson, Teed, Morales, the top 5. McMurray, Ishkanyan, Fletcher, Degroot, and Watson, the top 10. James Watson being scored now 1 lap down, so a quick caution could be very beneficial for James Watson. Pace car is in. They're off at turn number 4. Y'all at home, you go ahead and crank it up. One lap in the books after the restart, and we have a new race leader. Craig Forsyth getting a great run off of turn number 4. Charles Teed down to the inside of Eric Peterson. We're going to swap first and third in the span of a lap. Wagner now going to dive back to the inside of Forsyth. He will reclaim the race lead as Forsyth about 3 grooves high on the racetrack. This far, Wagner going to be able to hold on to the race lead. Slide back a little bit, pick up Eric Peterson and Charles Teed. Just back behind them, J Mcmurray fighting with Joseph Morales. Once again, the top 6 all lined up nose to tail. Now, Matt Wagner able to hold on to the race lead. In fact, Eric Peterson going to be going to work on Craig Forsyth as they get into one. Forsyth up the hill, going to swing back down, try to grab some gravity. Nothing for him there off the corner. In fact, going to open the door for Charles Teed. A little bit of a connection issue there for Brandonish Canyon. Nick Degroot not able to make up any ground. In fact, he's going to have to fight with Richard Fletcher. We'll show you that battle in the side-by-side. Degroot also having to deal with Ty Richter as well. Richter down to the inside of the racetrack. Degroot going to run the high lane. Very, very surprised to see Nick Degroot running this far back. Quite frankly, throughout the duration of the race, we're already almost to the halfway point and only 24 minutes into this one. Very clean up to the point of the caution flag coming out. Driver's able to make it 38 laps on the first stint. Would expect to see the race leaders back on pit lane right around lap 70 or so. Seeing Nick Degroot coming around James Watson. Ty Richter now going to have a look to the outside of Watson as well. He will be able to complete that pass easily. We'll go back to focusing on your top 6 here. They've kind of broken away, and everybody else is separated by at least 0.8 of a second. Oh, looks like the connection issue has finally gotten Brandonish Canyon. That car just kind of arbitrarily jumping to the pit lane. Just past the halfway point, Matt Wagner is your race leader. Ahead of Craig Forsyth, Eric Peterson, J Mcmurray, and Charles Teed. Charles Teed now going to have to deal with Joseph Morales. Morales trying to make the outside lane work, but it is just not happening at this point. Very nice throwback Target livery on that car, by the way, from Joseph Morales. Battle for the race lead starting to intensify as the leaders make their way through lap traffic. Craig Forsyth within a couple of car lengths of Matt Wagner as they head down the backstretch on lap number 56. Sliding back here just a little bit. Joseph Morales once again looking to the outside of Charles Teed, and there is just nothing there. However, if you have the car set up for the turn 3 and 4 end, you kind of have to run that outside lane through 1 and 2. The car will just want to snap around loose. Oh, big moment there for Joseph Morales. Nice save. Battle for the race lead at a quarter of a second. Another half second back to Eric Peterson in third. He's going to have J Mcmurray within 2 or 3 tenths. Tell you what, as the race leader comes off turn 4, you guys at home, you go ahead and crank it up. Matt Wagner going to lead Craig Forsyth, Eric Peterson, J Mcmurray, Nick Degroot, Charles Teed over the line. Degroot having a look inside of Teed off at turn number 4. He'll get the pass completed. Teed going to slide back into the clutches of Joseph Morales. Oh, man, big moment there for Charles Teed. That allows Morales down to the inside. He will clear down the front straightaway. Oh, man, a little bit of a connection issue there for Teed as well. He's going to look right back to the inside, though. Once again, slides up the racetrack big through turns 3 and 4. We'll go side by side here because the battle for the race lead heating up as well. Craig Forsyth getting around Matt Wagner. In fact, let's show you that one on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Forsyth with just a great run down the backstretch and into turn number 3. That will put the 72 machine back up into the race lead. Forsyth only holding about 2/10 though on Wagner. Working their way through lap traffic are your race leaders. Pick up that battle for the race lead once again here as we have cars trying to get back organically onto the lead lap, at least trying to unlap themselves. Passing Matt Wagner and Craig Forsyth will be a tall order here. Already to lap 69. That happened in a hurry. 32 minutes, 30 seconds to get to the 2/3 mark. Go back to the side-by-side. Well, thought we were going to have that battle closing in. It's sitting right now at about a quarter of a second. Here comes the run by Morales out of turn 4. Within 4 car lengths, maybe 5 car lengths, they come off at turn number 2. About the same distance that Craig Forsyth is holding on Matt Wagner. Working lap number 70. It is once again very close to the time that we're going to see green flag pit stops. Oh, the yellow's out. Caution flag is out on the Speedway. Trouble for Connor Baldwin. Gary Corley was in the pit area when the caution came out. This may be an absolute godsend for Gary Corley. Take a look and see what happened to Connor Baldwin. Oh, man, running up the middle of a couple of cars. The net code gods grab him. Around he goes and hard into the outside safer barrier. Unfortunately for Connor Baldwin, the connection issues will silence his Dallara IR18 for the remainder of the race. Behind the iRacing safety car will be ready to see the leaders making their way down pit lane. And this should be good enough to get them to the end of the race. As we work lap number 71, they'll get a couple of more laps under caution. But Greg Forsyth going to lead the train down pit lane. Forsyth hits his marks. Crew quickly going to work. Once again, 4 fresh Firestone Firehawks and a full tank of Speedway racing fuel. Forsyth down and away. Very quick pit stop for the Forsyth team. 8.48 seconds. Oh, man, that was tight with Matt Wagner, though. And Matt Wagner did win the race off of pit road. Total time on pit lane, 38:37 for Matt Wagner, 39:88. About a second and a half longer on pit lane for Craig Forsyth. Going to drop him to second. And once again, we will get to see this fantastic duel continue. We're going to see a lot of cars coming down pit lane here that are a lap down. Also a handful of cars that are going to take the wave around. How about Nick Degroot getting caught a lap down at the first cycle of pit stops? Able to stay out on the racetrack. Everybody else came down pit lane. Degroot gets his lap back. Now he runs in the 4th position. A little bit more of where we would expect to see Nick Degroot running. One of the better IR18 drivers on the entire iRacing platform. So give us a shout here in the comments. Let us know what you think of the race. We're only 37 minutes into this one, and inside of 30 laps to go. And all of these drivers now should be good to go to the end of the race on fuel. Actually, fuel and tires. These drivers should be pretty good on. Back to 9 cars on the lead lap. James Watson getting his lap back under the caution flag, running in the 9th position. So after an early issue put James Watson on the pit lane, he is able to get those laps back, and he will have a shot to contend here at the end of this one as well. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car. The wave around cars will make a quicker trip around the Kentucky Speedway to catch back up to the tail end of the field. Single file restarts, and they will not be using the restart zones that were introduced to the iRacing platform here for 2022 Season 3. Very shortly, we will see the iRacing safety car make the big left-hand turn onto the pit lane, and then when does Matt Wagner choose to go? Already leaving a little bit of a gap, slowing the field down. Now the field is in control of Matt Wagner as the pace car is on pit lane. Very slow restart by Wagner. It's a good start. Call it a 4-car length lead as they get to turn number 1. Craig Forsyth going to have to contend with Eric Peterson trying to get by on the outside. Charles Teed coming around J Mcmurray for the 5th position. You saw that pass get completed at the exit of turn number 2. .25 now, 24 laps to go here at the Kentucky Speedway. Matt Wagner holding a 1/4 of a second lead on Craig Forsyth. The battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th just as tight. Forsyth trying to get some clean air to that front wing and managing the dirty air. One of the things we talked about in the pre-race. Doing your best to manage that air is going to be so very important here tonight. Slide back a little bit deeper in the pack here. Charles Teed contending with Joseph Morales in the battle for the 6th position. that battle has settled down. The one at the front of the field has not. Still only 0.2 of a second separating Forsyth from Wagner, along with Peterson and Degroot. 1.6 seconds the gap now back to 5th place running J Mcmurray. New fastest lap for the race, 14th place running Ty Richter, 24:37. Forsyth having the look on Wagner to the outside, not going to be able to do anything there. Wagner with a nice job with a cross under. Drag race to the line, call it less than a car length in favor of Matt Wagner. This time by 20 to go. Forsyth able to get the pass completed in turns 3 and 4. Wagner going to have the look to the outside, the higher banked end of the racetrack. Slides up just a little bit. Oh, man, that little bit of a bobble for Matt Wagner really opened the door for Eric Peterson. He gained a ton of ground. Nick Degroot to the inside of Peterson. He'll get the pass completed off of turn number 4, put Nick Degroot up in position number 3, and he is going hunting for Matt Wagner, who's got his sights set on the race lead. Forsyth going to move up to the outside of the racetrack, has to chop the nose off of Degroot to try to take the air away. Matt Wagner back to the race lead. Forsyth dives back to the inside in 3. You almost wonder if that wasn't a test run of a final lap pass possibly. Get a feel for it now, and how do you have to make the move when we really get to crunch time? Oh, man, Wagner had to back out of the throttle big time in turn 1. As Forsyth slid high, that opened the door for Nick Degroot. Degroot wants the inside lane. They were tight going there into 3. Oh, man, Forsyth really trying to squeeze Degroot down the racetrack. It's going to be Forsyth at the line. Matt Wagner's trying to decide where to go. Degroot inside of Forsyth. He will get the job done, and here comes Matt Wagner. Huge run down the back straightaway for the defending champ. Wagner gets the big run, 2 for 1. Thank you, sir. May I have another? He's going to head to the top of the board. Degroot, Forsyth, Peterson, the top 4. And Charles Teed is closing in quickly as the leaders battle. Continuing to be side by side. Oh, Forsyth gone about making it 3 wide. Has to back out at the entrance to 3. Peterson started to slide up the racetrack. Big run through the middle of the corner for Forsyth. Just a tick loose. 3 wide at the line for second. I think it was Peterson that time by. Nick Degroot's going from the race lead to 4th in just a couple of laps. Down to 14 to go. Still plenty of time to get back to the front. Peterson way up the racetrack in 3 and 4. That absolutely is a freebie for Nick Degroot to the inside. Wagner and Forsyth drag race to the line. Call it Forsyth that time by 13 to go. Charles Teed, J Mcmurray are now right up in this battle as well. Forsyth inside, Degroot in the middle, Wagner to the outside, 3 wide for the lead into 3. Don't look now, cue the Jaws theme. Charles Teed is on the prowl. One of the best in this league on the intermediate racetracks. Showing his cards here late in the race. Greg Forsyth going to hold on to the race lead. You wonder, are they burning tires off too quickly? Oh, the caution is out. Trouble on the racetrack for Ty Richter. We will go under the caution flag with 11 laps to go. Take a look and see what happened here to Ty Richter off of turn 4. Oh, he got punterinoed. What a save by Ty Richter. Shame he lost the car a second time, because that was very Danny Sullivan-esque off at turn 4. But that will now reset the field. Everybody will attempt to catch their breath. Timing and scoring has Matt Wagner running behind Craig Forsyth. Oh, and we're going to have cars coming down pit lane. Nick Degroot, Charles Teed, Eric Peterson, Joseph Morales. They want fresh Firestone Firehawks. Craig Forsyth, Matt Wagner, J Mcmurray staying out on the racetrack. James Watson going to stay out as well, as is Richard Fletcher. Oh, man, this is going to be intense. Christian Jasper checking in the comments here. An absolute scrap to the finish. Yes, it is. Oh, this one is going to be exciting. You can't wipe the dumb grin off my face right now. As we get ready to go green flag racing for a very, very short run to the checkered flag. Down to 10 laps to go. Christian said he's disappointed he had to miss this one. He's working on a setup for a race he's got on Sunday. We have a race on Sunday as well. The Kill a Shrimp 200 for the Lotus 79s will be coming up right here on the National Racing Network. Part of the Let's Race program that really is a fantastic deal that Kevin Messig and some of the other guys involved with the Spec Corvette series are putting on. They're going to run a race in August where the prize, we're not running for $25, $50, $100. No, man, that's child's play. How about a real-world ride in a Spec Corvette race car? Will be the prize for that race in August. We'll get you full details on what that all is going to include. But good Lord. 82, 83 laps at Michigan with a real-world race drive on the line. There is such a huge part of me that wants to find someone to handle the play-by-play and production, and I'll run it, because man alive do I love the Lotus 79. Absolutely one of the best cars on the iRacing platform. And it is going to be an old kart-style pack race at Michigan. So lights are still on the iRacing safety car. It will be 8 laps to go when they come around to the start-finish line. Should be about a 7-lap run to the finish here. I'm hesitant to even bring any of these drivers in right now. Concentration levels are through the roof, especially for your top 5 drivers. Craig Forsyth, Matt Wagner, J Mcmurray, James Watson, Richard Fletcher did not pit under this caution flag, thinking track position is more valuable than fresh tires. The rest of the lead lap cars, led by Nick Degroot, that includes Charles Teed, Eric Peterson, Joseph Morales, they've all come down the pit lane. 2 completely separate strategies at this point. Something tells me that we are not done with the caution flags yet. Here, we got to get the comment up from Christian checking in the comments here. They're going to have a time defending the fresh tires. If it's anything like I ran it last, you can put the car damn near anywhere on fresh. That's kind of what we're hoping to see here, is that the dichotomy of new tires versus old. Did enough cars stay out to make it where Forsyth and Wagner can just duke this out amongst themselves? McMurray, Watson, and Fletcher have not been there all night. The jump is going to be critical. Forsyth gets a good one. Call it 3 car lengths as they get back to 7 to go. Forsyth will lead Wagner. Let's pick up the side-by-side here with Nick Degroot. The first car that came in and took tires. He's looking to the outside of Richard Fletcher. Fletcher going to defend heavily. Oh, and the caution's right back out again. Yellow flag is out once again. And it's trouble for Ty Richter. Take a look and see what happened here. Oh, just clipped the apron, pounds the inside safer barrier. The car slides up into the middle of the racetrack, and that will instantly trigger a caution flag. So now down to 6 laps to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they do have the green-white checkered. If there is a green-white checkered, we may see it. I'm almost positive that there is. However, even with the green-white checkers, we're not there yet. It's not going to take them 6 laps to get back under green flag conditions. This is interesting. Let's go on board here with Craig Forsyth. I think it's Forsyth. You can hear him dropping the throttle, trying to get fuel burnt out of the car. I think it was Forsyth. Yeah, there you go. Put the clutch in, burn as much fuel as you possibly can out of the thing. Going on board here with Matt Wagner doing the exact same thing. That's all the screaming engines that you hear. They're trying to loosen the cars up by getting some of the weight out of the back end of them. You see it up on the top of your screen. 5 laps to go. Nobody coming down pit lane this time. And quite frankly, this takes away a lot of the advantage that the drivers that made a tire stop had, because they're not going to have nearly as many laps to try to work with here. In fact, Nick Degroot on fresh tires not able to get around Richard Fletcher before the caution came out. Man, this one is going to be crazy. 4 to go. And the lights are still on the iRacing safety car. We're going to go at least one more lap. Time limit will not come into play until these last 2 cautions. Race was actually running very quickly. Only 55 minutes on the clock right now. But that means it will be an organic green-white checkered, and they'll still have the green-white checkers available should the yellow come back out again before they get the white flag. Oh man, this is going to be intense. Coming up next, another one that, quite frankly, going to be a darn good race as well. The Indy Pro 2000 Championship from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Over in the Catalunya region of Spain. That will be coming up next at 10:15 here in the East. Call it about 40 minutes or so from now. But down to 3 laps to go. This one is going to be wild. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car. Let us know in the comments, race fans, who is it going to be? Will it be Craig Forsyth or Matt Wagner? They've been dominant tonight, leading 85 of the completed laps to this point. Will it be J Mcmurray, James Watson, or Richard Fletcher? They have come out of nowhere to run in the top 5. Can it be one of the drivers that took tires just a handful of laps ago? We're about to find out. Green flag in the air. What a restart for Craig Forsyth. J Mcmurray got caught asleep at the wheel. Nick Degroot around Richard Fletcher. Oh my goodness. Here comes Degroot trying to get around the outside of Watson. It's a 2-car battle for the win and a dogfight back here between Watson and Mcmurray. They're going to run side by side with 2 to go. Craig Forsyth thus far able to hold off. Matt Wagner may have seen Nick Degroot up into the wall. White flag is out, 1 to go. Wagner around the outside of Forsyth through 1 and 2. Going to try to get the run down the hill. Here it comes. Forsyth blocks way to the inside. Wagner peaks up high. He's going to try to make the big run through 3 and 4. It'll be a drag race to the line off the corner. Who's it going to be? Craig Forsyth gets the win at Kentucky. Matt Wagner coming home a 1/10 of a second back for the second position. J Mcmurray holds on for 3rd. Nick Degroot and James Watson will complete your top 5. Charles Teed showing a little bit of displeasure there with Eric Peterson. Oh man, Matt Wagner getting a shot there as well. Let's pick up your race winner. Craig Forsyth at the start-finish line. As he gets ready to make the donuts, we'll show you your race results. Forsyth, your winner over Wagner, Mcmurray, Degroot, and Watson. Peterson, Teed, Johnston, Fletcher, Morales, the top 10. Corley, Destino, Richter, Ishkanyan, Baldwin, and Hand round out your field here this evening. Absolutely monster final restart by Craig Forsyth. Yeah, see in the comments here, hell of a restart by Forsyth. That was it. That absolutely sealed the deal for Craig Forsyth. Maybe a little bit of Colton hurting the restart, quite frankly, but the restart is what got the job done. Matt Wagner coming across the line now into the frame as well. We are going to get ready for your victory lane interviews here. Oh my goodness, got to catch our breath here. That was very, very intense. And let's bring our race winner into the booth with us, Mr. Craig Forsyth. And good Lord, man, absolutely intense final little stint here. But ultimately, it was that restart that got you the win. Talk us through that one.
Oh my! That I think lap 80, 80 to 90. That 10 lap where we just all threw it down and said, let's just all go for it. My goodness, the four of us just back and forth. It was crazy. It was unfortunate there was a caution, really, because I would have liked to see how that played out. But let's accept that the cautions helped me win this race. So I will totally take them. I was thinking about going really, 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 really late, like basically when the green flag came out on that restart. But then I figured that other people would be guessing I would do that. So it was like a last second decision that I was just going to go a bit early. And yeah, I was surprised I got as big a jump as I did.
Ultimately, that guessing game is sort of what decides things. And that's kind of leader's prerogative. You get to decide when everybody else gets to go. They're going to try to get the jump on you, and it's a matter of snookering them. Outside of the restarts, though, I was going to say, outside of the restarts, it really felt like it was going to be a shootout one way or the other between you and Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the draft kept us locked nice and good, and I mean, we were able to drop, a couple cars from time to time, depending. Basically, if you started fighting someone and stayed fighting, side by side or anything like that for more than a lap or two, you ran the risk of losing the draft of the cars in front of you. And once that happened, it was just a matter. I mean, neither Matt or I were going to be willing to do anything that caused us to lose the other person. It was just deciding whether we would be fighting enough that we'd run the risk of falling back into the group, the other guys. But I mean, the cautions happened right near the pit stop cycles, so it kept everyone bunched up. It was, I mean, that made for a really good race.
Man, we saw some craziness throughout this one. That last lap off of turn 2, you immediately went to the bottom of the racetrack. Did you figure that was going to be the only shot of retaining the lead, was to force Matt into something outside into 3?
Yeah, I wanted the bottom like I owned it. I was not going to give up that bottom once I was going. I had the weight jacker set up for running for holding the bottom. I mean, Nick is famous for, once he has the lead at this, tracks like this, he'll sit on the bottom, and it's you've got to do something miraculous to get by. You need like a super draft and a couple laps to set it up. So it's hold the bottom and hope that you can hold on for enough laps at the race ends, which is, with only two laps to the end, I was pretty sure that that was going to work out for me.
Well, it was a fantastic drive and a great win tonight here at the Kentucky Speedway. Congratulations, Craig. And before we let you go, get any sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
I've got to thank everyone here. And, with the LMC Gear team, the 40 racing team. And this is probably going to be one of my last races for a while here. I've got some surgeries coming up, so we're looking forward to seeing what we can do in the next while. So this was a fun way to end the spring, that's for sure. I guess summer's starting now.
Well, best of luck to you with the procedures. Hope you're all well, and man, we're looking forward to seeing you back here, because absolutely incredible show you helped put on here with these guys, and congratulations once again on the win.
Thanks very much. You stay safe.
Thank you, bud. You too. And let's bring in our runner-up finisher tonight here now, Mr. Matt Wagner. And man, I tell you what, Matt, it seemed like a little bit of getting skunked on the restart, but not by much. Ultimately, though, probably what the deciding factor was with just how Craig was able to keep you gapped on the first lap and then just defend on the white flag lap.
Yeah, it was a very bad exit off of going to 3, and a bad exit coming off of turn number 4. That was a totally misjudgment on my part. If I would have took it a little bit more upward, I probably would have got a run on Craig, but I don't think he knew about you can run an apron. Maybe it would have been pretty close, but overall, I think he would have had it. So track position here is king. You just needed that run. It is what it is.
And I got to ask you, how much fun was that 20-30 lap battle that you guys had at the front? At the same time, you had Eric there, you had Nick there. It was like 4 heavyweights sitting in a ring together, just throwing haymakers at each other.
Oh, God, I had a blast with them guys there, especially in the chat room. We were all talking about it. It's like, oh, God, here comes Nick. We were all worried about Nick because clearly he's the fastest guy. Just FYI. He's the best of the best. If you want to beat the best, that guy is the absolute best. So to finish second here tonight, I'm not ashamed. Great points day for us.
I was just going to say that was a pretty monster night in terms of the point standings. You had a fantastic run. Connor having his issues. James had a decent night, but Ty had some problems. Maybe starting to think about trying to open up a gap a little bit here as we start to get into the second half of the schedule.
Oh yeah, I got some actually some pretty good tracks there coming up. I'm really looking forward to some of the ovals upcoming. I know that Worldwide Technology is coming up. That's one of my favorite racetracks, and Sebring is a little bit of a just I don't know, but Chicagoland is a very bumpy, kind of like a sister to Atlanta kind of track. But I'm really looking forward to those tracks.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again on the runner-up finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I got to thank all my people back at Area 51. Great leagues. I love them so much. Jim Brooks, without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Gael, love you, man. It's sorry, I lost you there for a second. Did you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. I hope you heard Gael and all that. My mic must have cut off.
Yep, I say we heard you talking about Gael Brooks. Fantastic guy that he is.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, Jim Brooks for that matter as well. So,
yes.
Very cool. Thank you very much to Area 51 for coming on board to help with the broadcast this year, and it really kind of becoming a sister league to the ESRA group here as well.
Yes, I help. I might provide the setups for Area 51, and the setups what you see here in the ESRA series are because of me. So if everybody's got a complaint, come see me. So, but the racing tonight, as you saw on the racetrack, it was so good. I mean, you can't deny that. I wish we had a little bit more cars out there, but hopefully the car count will come up, and I'm really looking forward to the next time we're out.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here, and let's bring in our third place finisher tonight here, Mr. J Mcmurray. And man, I didn't think we were going to be talking to you tonight. He kind of had a mid-pack car, and it wasn't bad by any stretch, but then we get the leaders pitting with a handful of laps to go. That really kind of turned the cards for you here, and Nick having to fight his way through some of the other cars really allowed you to open up the gap that gave you that podium.
Oh yeah, with Nick and Teed going in, this was definitely gifted to me. I was at best 6th or 7th, but very consistent all night and managed the dirty air in 3 and 4 pretty good, and I felt pretty good with it.
Talk us through that decision when you're seeing people coming down pit lane. Was that kind of no-brainer territory for you to just say, no, there's not a chance I'm coming here?
Yeah, like Degroot, Craig, and Matt. Those three are like, I know I'm not gonna be able to pass them. They're just that good. So when Degroot goes in, I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay out and I'll just sit behind Matt and Craig here. And then coming to the last restart, for some unknown reason, I shift into second gear and stack up the field there at the start-finish line. And I feel like a complete idiot.
You know what? That stuff happens sometimes, though. And I don't necessarily, obviously not something intentional. You don't want to try to give up a win there. It sort of helped things a little bit with everybody stacked up behind you. That immediately got them all dogfighting. Did you spend most of that last lap watching your mirrors to see where the run was going to come from?
Oh, yeah. I saw Degroot coming up on the outside, and then I had Watson right on the inside. And then I knew coming into 3 and 4 that dirty air is going to hit both of them. So I just tried to stick with it and go through. And I think Degroot hit the wall a little bit, and James backed off, and that was enough of a run for me to finish the final lap.
Well, I tell you what, man, fantastic drive tonight. Congratulations on picking up the podium. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
As always, thank you for broadcasting every Thursday night with us. I told Watson if I finished ahead of him, I would plug TWR, Team Watson Racing, and his setup shop, Team Watson Racing Setups. Mediocre Motorsports. Too bad Coates wasn't here to see this, but hopefully he's watching the broadcast.
All right, bud. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in. And, yeah, we're going to have to get a discount code or something from Team Watson Racing to start for everybody that plugs them that isn't an official Team Watson Racing driver. They do, quite frankly, fantastic work. They're not your common setup shop. I'll say it that way. It's very much a community feel over there. We're a part of that group as well. And quite frankly, couldn't be prouder to be part of a group like Team Watson Racing that, well, I'll say it this way, they're doing sim racing right. So with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here because we only got about 20 minutes or so until the Indy Pro 2000 Championships coming up from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya over there in Spain. This one is going to be a very, very good show, and we cannot wait to bring it to you. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. For everybody at the National Racing Network who helps make these broadcasts happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all in just a little bit. Have a good night, everybody.